Welcome to Story Ideas on the Fly, where we pick a prompt from the hat and try to develop it into an idea for a story. Okay, someone's goal is to use the power of time travel to revive all extinct species in the wild.
All extinct species.
All extinct
That's
species.
bad. That's really bad. It's also really stupid.
Okay,
Wait, in the wild, what does it mean by revive them in the wild? Is that to actually release them into the wild, or is that to take them
Also,
from the
is
wild?
this the kind of thing where he's saying, let's try to prevent the things that cause species to go extinct? Or is this to try to get them after they've already
No, this is like let's grab some of them and bring them to the modern days.
Okay, question. Are we going realistic with this?
Sure.
Because realistically, if you brought a dinosaur to the modern day, it would die.
Yeah.
Oxygen contents, atmospheric pressures, rotational speed of the Earth, how close the moon is, all of that's changed.
Possible option. Could you have this as a sci-fi where this guy can terraform some planets to release some of these extinct species onto?
Okay, we'd have to find a reason for that. You know, sometimes I wish
rather
we got
elaborate.
I wish we got to see these prompts ahead of time, because I'm like, I want to go research some extinct species and see what all. I mean, I know dinosaurs.
So we have an expert here.
Extinct, but I'd really love to go.
Megatherium, Mesophile spiders, basically all the giant insects. Did you know there was actually a species of dragonfly that was about this long?
I could live without those. I'm glad they went extinct.
So did you know there was a species of centipede that was around 50 feet long?
These days.
The more you know. I like the idea of making this a sci-fi. Have this be some kind of fanatic, not like a almost not quite eco-terrorist group, but something almost along those lines where they're fanatic environmentalists. And so they go, hey, we recently developed time travel. We could utilize this to save all those poor species that went extinct. And maybe they haven't actually thought it that far through.
Yeah, so these are our villains.
They've got a lot of money to throw onto it.
Okay, this question though. How would that actually cause problems for people if they're doing it on terraformed planets?
Maybe not terraform planets. They might actually be trying to do it in the real world.
They could be trying to terraform our planet.
Okay, that would be dumb on so many levels.
Or terraform parts. Can you do that?
No.
Oh.
Not without building walls into space.
All right. Let's see.
Unless you're building actual walls that lead up to the space, you cannot terraform pieces of the planet.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out how we practically do this.
Okay, on a practical standpoint, you make enclosures.
Okay, make enclosures. How do you make enclosures large enough to hold some of these, and then what do you do with them after?
Well, no,
how to steal?
Why would you do this? What's the profit from bringing back dodo birds and dinosaurs and
dodo birds would actually probably be one of the easiest things to bring back.
But
yeah, dodo birds, they used to live like 40 years.
Didn't these people watch Jurassic Park? It's not a good idea.
Jurassic Park was caused by everyone being idiots.
Yeah.
I never watched it, but
I've watched multiple Jurassic Park movies, and every single problem could have been solved if the people involved just actually used regular zoo techniques for watching the animals.
Okay, so
why did the Indominus Rex escape its enclosure? Because they didn't give it enough room.
Okay, all right. Let's get back on to
how will we do
topic.
This? So, if you could create these places for these creatures, what would be the benefit to it? Because most prehistoric animals
start with a T or a P.
P. Because most prehistoric creatures are not going to be very practical.
They also require...
So unless you've got a really eccentric billionaire who just wants to collect random obscure creatures.
Why would someone want to bring back all these big creatures?
Well, that's what I was going with.
Maybe some of
them. So here's the thing. There's two reasons. First is make it into a zoo, because let's face it, even those really big bugs
would be very cool to
would be
see
very
behind
cool
glass.
to see behind glass.
I'd want to see them.
Hold on. I
But
think
the second thing,
Besides, you don't actually have to worry about there being an escape, because if those insects escape, they're just gonna die.
yeah.
They have an oxygen
However-
content of
Oxygen.
nearly 50%.
However,
True, they'd
there
suffocate and
is
die very
one little
quickly.
problem that makes me think that is not what they're going for. You could go with this. You could go Jurassic Park style and just have enclosures. But it specifically says they want to revive all extinct species in the wild. So I don't know if you interpret that as just from the wild that were once wild and revive all of them into a zoo, that works. If you say they're trying to bring them into the wild, then they're probably stupid environmentalists who go way too far and
It's just one problem. They wouldn't survive. You'd have to
Yeah.
genetically
Okay,
engineer them to be able to
hold on,
survive.
hold on. I've got an idea. Unfortunately, there are people now that want to see America regress.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that want to,
And society
because
as a whole
the more,
regress.
the more society becomes, we get the technology, we get the harder it is to control people. And so maybe a villain really wants to take the world back to a previous time.
Okay.
And so he
If
wants
that's
to
the
take
case,
it
why
back.
not just go back in time and set up shop?
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe that's kind of what the attempt is. I'm trying to go back in time and bring the present time some forward so that it kind of undoes, I'm trying to bring it back. I'm not explaining this well. I'm trying to bring these animals back, not because I'm trying to go back in time and save the animals, but because I'm trying to go back in time and I'm trying to undo what made the future go as it did so that people are more
If you want to
primitive and more
regress society,
controllable.
don't go back millions of years. If you do that, then you're more likely to regress us into being mice. If you want to regress society, go back to when slavery was still a thing and make it so we never stopped.
Okay. One possible.
sabotage the Industrial Revolution if you really
Exactly.
want to do.
Okay. One
Okay.
direction we could take this, because there have been a lot of different periods in history. Could you have this guy try to bring back a specific period? Because then he could try to terraform the entire planet to fit, the Pennsylvanian era. That's the one with the giant bugs. I know that now. Or you could have him say, we want to go back to Cretaceous period and bring back all extinct species in the wild then. And, okay, if the people die in the process, well, that's...
We're unnatural anyway.
Who needs people? They're not they don't have cool, I don't know, what do dinosaurs have?
Feathers?
They don't have cool feathers.
No, we don't have cool feathers. I will concede that point.
If you want to have a cool creature with feathers, though, just genetically engineer a chicken.
Okay.
We have actually successfully genetically engineered a chicken to basically be a dinosaur.
Okay, random question. What if we went back to the idea of, instead of having the villains be the ones time traveling, have it be almost like an amusement park type thing? Because that one probably is the one that makes the most sense out of all the ideas we've gone through.
Okay, and you could do that. You could have a theme park.
Yeah, I
It'd
think
be
we've
very,
done
very
a theme
difficult.
pose for something before, though.
But not
Are you talking
with
about the dragon egg?
prehistoric creatures.
Oh, okay.
We did
Not
with
with
the dragon
prehistoric
egg.
Oh, we
creatures
had a
we've never
dragon
done.
egg before. That was it.
All
It
right.
wasn't a theme
So here's
park.
the thing. It would be the theme park for all extinct creatures, but you could actually do an almost city builder type of story with this.
Yeah, but what would your villain want?
Anyway,
or how would a villain try to
'cause
take advantage of
one
the
of the
situation?
interesting-
Oh wait, no, your villain should be like the PETA kind of thing. Saying you should be releasing them into the wild and is fighting them to release them into the wild, and this guy's going, no, that is the dumbest idea you could possibly come up with.
Okay, but then how does your villain escalate things? Because if
By
you
By
just
releasing them into the wild.
and they
half
they
of
don't
them
like
die within
most of them would die, and they would all eventually die off, but they could cause a lot of damages in the process.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, well, and they'd be very hard
they
to...
do require stuff like high air or winds in order to properly function, but they could probably survive in an environment like rainforest for probably several months.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could actually have a lot of conflict with that. Oh, just go. I know we're kind of remaking Jurassic Park, except with a lot more time periods than just dinosaurs, but
Yeah.
Welcome to
oh,
Onion Park.
the Megalodon.
Oh no, oh no, what? No, they would totally try to release that. No, that is so dumb.
Or
Why?
try to get
Why would you do
Spinosaurus
that?
into the water, because then that could actually come out as because Spinosaurus could come on the could it live on the coast, or would it be rivers and marshes? It could
It
still
would
do
have
some
to stay in a
damage.
pretty warm area because
Okay, it could still a
the
Spinosaurus could do a
dinosaurs
lot of
today
damage.
was a hothouse period, unlike our ice age. Yes, we are
Okay.
in an ice age.
Okay,
All right.
here's an interesting
But how?
So here's the thing. You could start. You'd have a lot of the story be trying to figure out how, because there are a lot of innate conflicts just in this. You could almost do a city builder type of story with this, where a lot of the initial conflicts, keyword being initial there, you'd still want the big bad villain to cause extra problems, but a lot of the initial conflicts could be, hey, I might be able to go back into the past and grab a megalodon, but it's not
then
like I can't just throw him in my swimming pool.
no.
Yeah, no, Megalodon need very different into water than we're used to.
Not only that,
Fair
just the
enough.
size alone
Yeah,
causes
size.
problem.
Sharks need quite a bit of area, and with
Okay.
the Megalodon being so big, it would need a ridiculous area, which would probably mean
They
you
probably
want a few hundred
Ooh,
square
Hold on.
meters of water.
Ooh,
Hold
what
on.
if
Go
what
ahead.
if your
Difficult
villain was
cube.
not after the creatures, but after the time machine? So your eccentric billionaire genius, or whoever this was who decided to start this, created the time machine just to go back in time and pick up animals. He doesn't intend to mess with anything in the past except for getting his animals. But your villain is trying to actually get the time machine.
I have a totally different take on this.
Okay.
So just gonna
Let's see
throw
how
it
many
out
ideas
there.
we can get.
All right, let's throw all the
Okay.
ideas out there.
We haven't really focused, and you brought this up on the time travel part of this so much. We've been focusing so much on the extinct animals. I want to focus a little bit on the time traveler. So you get some crazy guy, and I would have to run a lot of this through Michael because he would never approve of it if I didn't. You get some guy who's a time traveler. I don't know how common, you could not have them common, so your villain be after the time things, but he has decided that he can fix the world. He sees a lot of problems in the world with whatever their world is. Okay, it doesn't have to be our world because they have time travel, we don't.
Okay.
So they see a lot of problems in the world. He decides he's going to fix it, and he comes down to the conclusion that, hey, if we'd had a dinosaur in this situation, it could have done this and prevented this bad thing from happening.
So you're saying he's an idiot?
Or
He
if
may
we
be an
had,
idiot,
maybe, but he thinks, he knows, if I can go through and I can do these things,
Mm-hmm.
then I can change the world.
So a
I can
time
change the
traveler
past.
trying to fix the world.
Yes, by
Well, he
bringing
could
back.
see
Now,
extinction as a problem and say, "Hey, animals went extinct. That's no fair. That's no good. Let's bring them back."
okay, but so you can
Extinction is
either
kind of the natural way of the universe.
okay.
Fair enough,
But
but
when you get in stories, everything doesn't have to be realistic. It has to be believable. So
Mhm.
he is
well,
going
your
to
villain doesn't have to be smart.
he is going to go now. He could either be a villain with really diabolical plots,
Or he could just be an idiot.
or he could just be someone who
A
is
dangerous idiot
a
with a
smart
time
idiot,
machine.
right? Who figured out how to create the time machine, and then he, I'm gonna go, he does. If you just want to say I created the time machine, I'm gonna go get all these animals because I want to, I want pets and think it would be cool to have or whatever. But I'm kind of thinking he's in there trying to do that. So you could either make him the big bad, or you can make him a secondary bad because
Okay,
he's not
'cause then
smart enough,
someone
and then the
else
big
comes
in and gets
and tries to mess things up.
Now you could either have,
And then your hero helps the idiot villain at the end start up a big zoo of prehistoric creatures.
but then your heroes are going to either have to, one, invent a time machine to go because the bad guy, the villain, got it, or they're going to have to, or they could already know time traveling but still have to go and try to undo all these messes.
Mhm.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so one of the big problems is that time travel is already extremely messy, and if you have it so that people have figured out time travel, it's going to cause a lot of problems. Just the fact of time travel existing causes problems.
So you have to keep
But-
it limited.
Yes. Which is why I kind of like the idea of starting it with the hero is the one who discovers time travel and is the one who's just going, hey, let's grab creatures from the past and bring them here for a zoo. And then the villain is the one is in charge of the PETA-like thing, trying to get these things into the wild, but that's the front he's using to try to get to the time machine for his real goal, which is to alter history.
And then your hero, and then your protagonist has to fix the mistakes he's made, or fix when the bad guy gets the time machine.
Okay,
he has to go
sounds
back and
good.
fix it.
Wait. What kind of time travel do we want? Do we want
If you
perfect
want-
loop time travel, or do we want split multiverse time travel?
If we want...
Okay, I can already
There
tell
are
you.
two main types of time travel, as far as I know, off the top of my head. One is where everything that you do in the past has already happened. These tend to be very interesting. Harry Potter is a good example of this, where they go, oh wait, that thing
We
that
did
happened
that
happened because of
thing.
me. Okay. And the other one is the split universe one. This is where you go back in time and you basically completely
Back
change.
to the future, yeah.
Yeah,
Back to the future. Okay.
That one kind of uses an in-between version of the two, where you can set things back on. That one's weird, but
Okay.
Okay.
Well, if you
Back
want
to
to
the
make
Future
it...
kind of in the
Okay.
middle is might be nice because you want.
that gets really complicated.
Yeah,
as
I
well.
have
but
a
you do
version
want-
of time travel and time cops that's kind of a mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mixed ones,
I
though,
would
are even harder
say
to work
we
with.
would
Yes.
probably
Because if
want
it's
to
a-
go with a mixed one if we want to make it so that
Yeah.
the villain actually has a chance of altering
Yeah, because if it's a
things.
totally perfect
Because-
loop, then your villain can't.
No, that I think actually makes it. I actually really prefer the perfect loop ones.
You think so?
Because then the villain's goal
I
aiming
mean,
for something
you-
that's
you-
impossible, but
Well, not
just
only
could
that, but
cause
let's say the villain
problems.
gets his hands on the time travel device. Now, it gets harder to write stories like that, but you actually have it be so you could have, and you have to set things up way in advance. But
Mhm.
if he goes back into the past
take
and
a
then the
lot of
heroes
pre-planning.
go back too, they would have done effects as you would have seen in the normal story, and that's the real key that makes that,
would
really
be kind
great.
of cool.
And so, and you could basically
But that would
get
take
hints.
a lot of pre-planning ahead
that
of
would
time.
that one's the hardest. That's why it's not done all the time.
I was about to say, so who could write that?
Yeah,
That'd be interesting
this
to
would
see.
probably be his type of story because I don't really.
No, you're more of an organic. Let's.
I don't know.
let's
It's just
start telling the
I
story
can do
and see
that,
how it
but it's
goes.
just time travel is one of those ones. I have worked with time travel, time cops, but you'll notice even in time cops there isn't a lot of time travel, and there's very
Yeah,
strict
I'm pretty
rules
sure
of the
there
time
was
travel.
like
Yeah,
one
time
time where the
travel's
heroes
very-
actually used time travel
There's a couple
to
of
solve
times
something.
time travel isn't there,
Yeah,
but
but
yeah,
to solve something.
to solve
yes.
something, yeah, not often.
That's fine. Time
no,
travel.
mostly
heroes
their
use it
job is to
once.
prevent.
Powerful.
Yeah,
is
that's
to
the
prevent-
reason. Whole reason of time cops. So isn't it supposed to be about them time traveling? They're time cops. They're supposed to keep people from time traveling
Exactly.
because it's so dangerous. Okay.
All right.
Okay. So
So-
anyway, I think we're done. Did we get a love story in here?
No, but we could
You have plenty
find
of options.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a hard.
Just
Our-
have
our
him fall in
crazy
love with the
cool
T-Rex or
inventor.
something.
No, falling in love with the T-Rex. No,
Bad boy,
no.
bad
no.
boy.
when this genius crazy kid comes up with the time machine and starts coming up with stuff, he's gonna need someone to come help him out and help him actually make things
assistant?
work. Yes, give him a lab assistant. Basically.
Okay, a very pretty smart one, right? All right.
Something along
Or
those
to
sounds
have
lines.
it
like we
so
have
that
this-
he actually goes with a cave woman, because cave women are actually probably smarter than modern women.
Yeah, but they haven't been
Okay,
educated
no.
to that.
All
Well,
right.
yeah, they haven't been
No,
educated,
no.
but our brains have
No.
legitimately been shrinking for the past few hundred years.
Or
We should have brought popcorn. Okay, we'll see you next time. Please
Yeah.
leave comments.
we'll
in
finish
the
this argument
comment
after we
section.
finish.